My beloved child, you have forgotten something, and now my hand rests upon your shoulder to hold you back, so that you may remember what has slipped from your mind. Listen to me slowly. Clearly, you are not here by accident. This moment is an appointment I scheduled long ago, an appointment not shown on any app, yet every minute marked by me in eternity. My child, what you have forgotten is not a task, a goal, or a meeting. You have forgotten the sound of your own heart when it is called by love. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your shoulders, so used to carrying invisible suitcases, be still. I do not blame you for being tired. I do not scold you for losing your way. I only want to place a quiet chair in the cluttered room of your heart so that the two of us may sit down together. Do not rush to tidy that room. Leave it as it is. I enter not because it is orderly, but because you are there. I see the nights when you lie awake, unable to name your restlessness. I hear the sighs you hide from those close to you. I know the hollow in your chest that opens even when you think happiness should be full. And I know how you soothe yourself, another film, another channel, another conversation that does not touch your depths. You are not a liar for doing this. You are a child searching for a door. My child, I am that door. Not a rare key, not a secret code, simply a door. As soon as you turn the handle, it opens. Hear me as I name each thing you have hidden, the regrets packed in sealed boxes, the apologies left unsaid, the wounds you tell yourself have healed but still burn raw, the fears masked by a smile, the dreams you slip under your pillow for fear of being mocked. I have not come to drag each of these into the public square and shame them. I call them so they can sit down, so they can stop running, so they can hear me say, you do not have to carry them alone anymore. You were not born to be a vault of heavy secrets. You were born to be a dwelling for my presence, a place where light is lit without display, where warmth spreads without noise. You may say to me, but I don't yet know if I believe. I hear you, and I smile. Your faith, my child, is not a bridge you must build across a chasm. Faith is the first step you take onto the bridge I have already built. You do not need to see the other end. You only need to dare to step. And if your knees tremble, I will hold your hand. I have stood there since your first doubts, since the days you thought I was just a pleasant idea for someone else. I was there even when you were angry at injustices you could not name. I was there when you loved and when you were weary, when you resolved and when you gave up. I have not lifted my hand from your life, not even for a moment, as thin as a strand of hair. My child, I must tell you this plainly, no noise out there can fill the space in your heart shaped only for me. Perhaps you have tried. I know you have tried achievements, relationships, reputation, financial security, projects that draw admiration. I do not belittle these. They have their place. But none of them bears my shape. Only I fit that space, not because I crowd it, but because I am the source of your very life. You ask, why now? Because now the seed beneath your soil has reached its season. You have walked with steadfast feet through many dry spells. There were seasons when I let the rain be scarce so your roots would grow deep. There were seasons of rising winds so you could learn to bend without breaking. Now when you think you have only enough strength to breathe, I say it is time to bloom. And bloom not to display but to breathe, as a flower should, receiving light, offering fragrance, doing what it was born to do. You may think, but I am not ready. Readiness is not a flawless state. Readiness is your consent to be led by me. You say, I'm afraid of missing it. Missing it does not lie in your hesitations. Missing it lies in ignoring this call. Do not fear a wrong step. I will steady your heartbeat back to its gentle rhythm. Do not fear losing your way. I am the way. Do not fear the dark. I am the light that does not go out. Now, my child, do something small yet great. Place your hand over your chest and feel that heartbeat. It is the pulse of life I have breathed into you. Whisper if you wish, but say it truthfully, I am here. That is all. No need to program promises, no need to draft grand plans. Simply say, I am here, like a child lifting their face in the crowd and meeting the eyes of their father. When you speak those words, I will respond, I am here too. Those two words here are enough to shift the entire trajectory of a life. Do not be surprised if tears come. Tears are not a sign of weakness. They are the small pathways by which the stones in your heart can roll away. Let them fall if they wish. I will not let a single drop fall in vain. I gather them in. My hand as a farmer catches the first drops of early rain. You will see that after the rain, the soil softens, and the seed can begin to stir. In the same way, your heart after tears will soften enough to receive what I am about to plant. My child, hear me say this as a prelude to everything else. You are precious not because of what you have done, but because of who you are, in my eyes. You have walked long enough by the world's measure. Today, begin by the Father's measure. If you feel a faint warmth at your breastbone, that is me. If you notice a small clearing of light in the tangle of your thoughts, that is me. If you suddenly wish to linger in silence for 5 more minutes, that too is me. Stay. Allow me to rename you not with the labels of society, but with the true name I wrote upon the palm of my hand. You may ask me anything, but first give me a single nod. Just one, even the smallest. I see it. I have been waiting for it. And when you nod, a door opens, not with noise, not with fireworks, only with a gentle light tracing the frame. You step through. I walk beside you. From here, we are no longer speaking of a directionless invitation, but of a journey with a name, the journey of returning to yourself in me. My child, let me speak this slowly, so each word falls like dew upon dry ground. You are loved unconditionally. Not because of how much you have achieved, not because of how many trials you have overcome, not because you have strained to become someone in the world's eyes. You are loved simply because you are, my child. The cord between me and you is never severed by mistakes, never blurred by weakness, never hidden by shame. I have seen you from the very first moment life began to form. Before you could perceive the light, I laid my hand upon you. Before anyone ever called your name, I already knew you. As I once declared, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have drawn you with loving kindness. Jeremiah 3:1-3. My child, be assured that this love does not waver. It does not come and go like human emotions. It is not like the world's conditional affection. It is eternal, steadfast, and unchanging like me. I know you often look at yourself through a fractured mirror, the words others have spoken, the failures you have tasted, the memories you wish no one knew. That mirror distorts your image, making you believe you are of lesser worth, that you are unworthy of love. But I do not see you through that warped mirror. I look directly at you with the eyes of the Creator, and I see in you an unfinished masterpiece. I see every line, every crack, every shard, and instead of turning away, I still call it beautiful because all of it rests in my hand to be restored. Have you ever sat alone and wondered, does anyone truly see me? Does anyone know what I am going through? Do you feel as though even those closest to you cannot understand the storm inside your heart? My child, I see. I know. Not a single tear falls without my notice. Not a single shiver in the night escapes my embrace. You have never been in the darkness alone, even when you thought I was silent. My silence is not absence. It is the quiet in which you can sense that I am nearer than anyone else. Remember this. My love for you is not limited by your past. It is not diminished by the mistakes you have made. Nothing you have ever done could make me love you less. And nothing you could ever do would make me love you more, because my love has been complete, full, and perfect from the very beginning. You do not need to prove yourself or run after the wearying standards of others. You only need to open your heart to receive it. Imagine, my child, if the whole world fell silent for just a moment, you would hear my heartbeat echoing within your own. That rhythm never stops. It beats until you realize you have never been forgotten. Even when you turn away, I am still there. Even when you doubt, I still call your name. Even when you believe you are unworthy of love, I still hold you in my arms. You ask, but how can you love someone as flawed as me? My child, it is precisely in those flaws that my love shines brightest. Like an artist who sees beauty in rough stone, I see the whole and radiant form hidden within you. I do not love you because you are already perfect. I love you to lead you into wholeness. My love is not a final reward, it is the starting point. Believe that with every step you take, whether trembling or steady, I walk with you. When you fall, I do not stand at a distance to judge. I stoop down, take your hand, brush the dust from your face, and help you rise. When you are weary, I do not force you to keep running. I sit beside you, rest your head upon my shoulder, and let you find peace. When you rejoice, I rejoice with you. When you weep, I weep with you. You never pass through any season alone. My child, try letting go of every false label you have carried. Let me define you anew. You are not the sum of your mistakes, nor the trophies you have collected. You are, my child, loved, chosen, and treasured. That is your true identity. Everything else is only a temporary cloak the world has thrown over you. But your true essence is eternal, and it is written in the language of love. I know every page of your life's journal, not only the beautiful lines you want to show, but also the pages you have crossed out, torn, or hidden away, because you believed they were too dark for anyone to see. I have read them all. I remember them all. And I am the one who has the final word over them. You have thought of sin as a permanent sentence carved into the history of your life. But I tell you this, in me, sin is not a mark left to punish you, but an ink stain that can be wiped clean. I did not come to heap more guilt upon your shoulders, but to lift it off. Picture, my child, a great burden upon your already weary shoulders. It bends your back, slows your steps, and draws your eyes downward instead of upward. That burden is shame, guilt, and every word you have spoken over yourself. I am awful. I am unworthy. I can never be forgiven. You have carried it through the years, trying to hide it behind smiles or the appearance of success, yet deep down you know it has remained unwilling to leave. I see it all. And today I have not come to criticize you for that burden, but to stretch out my hand and say, give it to me. Imagine an endless ocean without shores or depths, where every mistake you release vanishes like morning dew under the rising Sunday. This is the sea of forgetfulness I have prepared a place where every wrong is cast away, never to return and haunt you again. I do not keep a record to one day use it against you. I do not collect evidence to prosecute. When you honestly hand it over to me, every stain disappears, not only from my sight but from my memory as well. I say to you, I forgive you. Your sins will be remembered no more. Do you hear the relief hidden inside that promise? Forgiveness is not merely erasing a slate, it is liberation. My forgiveness does not send you back to the old starting line, with the feeling of at least I no longer owe anything. My forgiveness opens a new path where you walk without the clanking of chains dragging behind you. I do not want you to live as someone who has merely been pardoned, always carrying the mindset of a victim spared from punishment. I want you to live as a child who is free, head lifted, high breathing deeply, knowing that the past no longer has power to control the present. My child, many times you have thought I can forgive others, but it is hard to forgive myself. You torment yourself self-punishing, hoping that the pain might somehow pay for your wrongs. But I ask you, if I, the Holy One, have said enough, I have borne it, why do you continue to condemn yourself? Repentance is not self-destruction. It is turning back into the Father's arms. Every penalty was laid on Jesus, my Son. Every lash, every nail, every drop of blood was enough to erase the entire debt. You do not need, nor can you add any further punishment. Place your hand over your heart and imagine each invisible chain falling away. All those old sentences like I will never change, I deserve this, I am unworthy of love, they all drop at the foot of the cross. I pick them up and cast them into the sea of forgetfulness where they sink and never rise again. Trust me, that sea will never return the old burdens to you. Forgiveness also carries a power you may not have imagined. It enlarges your heart so you can forgive others. When you realize you have been set free, you stop clutching your wounds as proof to accuse. You learn how to release, how to let go, not because others deserve it, but because you have tasted undeserved grace. My forgiveness flows through you, and then continues into the lives of others like a river that does not stagnate in a pool but always seeks a way to go farther. That is why today I urgently invite you, hand that burden over to me. Do not hold back a portion just in case. Do not let your heart half believe, half doubt. Place everything in my hands, all the sins you know, all the sins you have not yet dared to name, even the secret regrets you thought I would never want to hear. I have already heard, I have already seen, and I have already prepared a sea of forgetfulness wide enough to swallow it all. You only need to let go. Picture yourself opening your hands, the heavy stones slipping from your palms, a single splash echoing into the ocean, and then nothing remains but peace. You will feel your shoulders lighter, your steps freer, and your breath returning full. That is my gift to you, a gift no one can buy, no one can take away, and no one can replace. That gift is called forgiveness. And in that gift, your soul finds freedom. My child, forgiveness is only the beginning. When I lift the burden from your shoulders, I do not send you back unchanged. Forgiveness paves the way for something deeper, spiritual rebirth. It is like a seed after the rain, not only washed clean of dust, but beginning to sprout and reach for the light. Forgiveness wipes away the old record. Rebirth writes a new story. When you receive forgiveness, at the same time I give you new life, a life no longer ruled by the past, but nourished by my own spirit. Rebirth is not merely outward behavior change, like trying to live better, speak kinder words, or avoid obvious mistakes. My child, rebirth touches the root, the hidden places of your soul that no one else can reach. There I peel away the old hardened skin formed by wounds, bitterness, and long disappointments, and I replace it with a new heart, soft, responsive to love, attuned to my presence every day. As I have declared, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:1-7. You will not see the difference in a thunderclap or a dazzling display of miracles, but in the subtle changes that unfold moment by moment. Where once a single insult could leave you simmering for days, now you find yourself able to draw a deep breath and forgive. Where once the darkness of anxiety blanketed your sleep, now you can lay your head down and rest in the peace I give. Where once you lived for approval, now you begin to live from the love already given. This is the mark of rebirth, not a sudden flash, but a daily journey of renewal. My child, I want you to know that rebirth does not make you a better version of yourself. It makes you the very person I designed from the beginning. Rebirth restores the original image when humanity was created to reflect my glory, to walk in love and light. You may have thought that life has broken you too deeply, that the cracks in your soul are permanent. But in me, no crack is too deep, no fragment too small. I gather them all, bind them with mercy, and breathe new life into them. Imagine, my child, an old house with a leaking roof, peeling walls, and dim windows. Forgiveness is like clearing out the dust and debris from that house. But rebirth goes further. I replace the roof, rebuild the walls, widen the windows to let the light flood in, and transform that house into a dwelling fit for living, a place where I, myself, abide. Then your soul is no longer a dark space, but a sanctuary where you can rest and where my presence dwells daily. Do not think that rebirth is something you accomplish by sheer effort. Rather, it is the result of letting me work within you. I plant new seeds, and it is my spirit who waters, nourishes, and causes them to grow. Your part is to receive, to trust, and to let me lead. At times you may find your steps unsteady. You may stumble or feel the pull of old habits. Do not lose heart. Rebirth is not a journey of never falling, but a journey of rising faster and stronger each time by my strength. Let me paint a picture for you. My child, when a baby is born, it cries. That cry is the sign of new life. Likewise, when you step into spiritual rebirth, you may cry not from loss, but because new life has been breathed in. Those tears wash away the old and open the dawn. After the cry come the first uncertain steps, and gradually you will run, you will soar, you will do what you never imagined you could. Rebirth also changes the way you see everything. Where once you viewed yourself with criticism, you now see yourself as beloved. Where once you looked at the world with suspicion, you now glimpse hope even in the shadows. Where once you thought your wounds were the end, you now see them as evidence of healing. Rebirth reshapes your sight, your thoughts, your life. My child, do not hesitate to call yourself new. Do not think it prideful, for this is not your work but mine. When you agree to step into the journey of rebirth, you are no longer defined by your past, but by my promise. You no longer live in the narrow circle of fear, but in the wide space of hope. You no longer bear the labels of failure, sinner, or forsaken, but the name beloved child, restored and sent. Remember this. My child, forgiveness lifts the burden, but rebirth gives you wings. Forgiveness opens the prison door, but rebirth leads you out into the wide field of light. Forgiveness wipes the page clean, but rebirth sets the pen to write a new chapter. And in that chapter, you will not write alone. I will be the author with you, and every story will be filled with meaning, filled with life, filled with light. Are you willing to let me write the next chapter of your life? Do you dare believe that even in the places you thought were dead, I can breathe life again? If you agree, simply whisper, "Renew me." From that moment, the seed of rebirth has begun to sprout in your soul. A new journey opens, the journey of a transformed life, a restored soul, and a new person in my eternal light. My child, when I formed you, I did not do so at random. I did not sigh and drop you into the world like a leaf drifting on the stream. Every detail, from the color of your eyes and the sound of your voice to the secret desires within, was placed with purpose. You may have asked many times, "What is my life for? Why am I here at this time?" My beloved, the answer was planted within you from the beginning. It is the sacred purpose, the seed I quietly buried in the soil of your heart, waiting for the day to rise. That purpose is not a copy of anyone else's. It is not measured by the world's standards, nor defined by achievements, degrees, or applause. It has been written as a unique code fitting only you. That is why no one else can take your place in my plan. Others may be more gifted, wealthier, or wiser, but they cannot walk the path designed for you, for they do not carry the distinct imprint I have set within you. You are the original, not a copy. My child, perhaps you have felt strange stirrings within your heart when you witnessed a certain scene, heard a particular story, or stood before someone's pain. Your heart suddenly ached as if something inside were urging you. You must do something. Do not dismiss that feeling. It is not a passing whim, but a signal from the seed of purpose awakening within you. I use these stirrings to remind you, you were created for this. Just as Moses could not remain indifferent when he saw his people oppressed, and Nehemiah's heart trembled when he heard of Jerusalem's walls in ruins and could not stay still, so too I have placed within you the things that make you restless, so that they might become clues leading you to your mission. You often think of purpose as something vast, resounding, something the whole world must recognize. Yet a divine purpose is not always a blazing stage. At times it is found in a timely word of comfort, an outstretched hand at just the right moment, a small act that plants hope in someone who is about to fall. Purpose is not measured by volume, but by depth. A single drop of water falling in a desert can save a life. So it is with you. My child, the small things you do under my prompting may become a lamp lighting an entire dark hallway. I know there are moments when you feel lost, as though running in circles within a maze, unable to find meaning. But remember, I never let you drift without direction. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, I weave into your purpose. A wound can become a living testimony. A failure can teach lessons success never could. A tear can soften the ground so the seed I have planted may sprout. You think these things are random, but I tell you, everything is being placed exactly where it belongs in the sacred design. My child, I want you to begin seeing your life not as a string of disconnected events, but as a mosaic. When you stand too close, you only see jagged fragments, scattered colors. But when you step back, you behold the greater image I am painting. In that picture, every shade, whether bright or dark, contributes to the finished work. And you yourself are that artwork, gradually emerging over time, reflecting the purpose I have ordained. Know that purpose is not reserved only for those considered special. It lives within each of my children, including you. You do not need to become someone else, nor reach some standard to be qualified. You already carry within you everything necessary to begin. The seed is already there. What is needed is your consent to let it be watered, tended, and grown. When you dare to step forward, even a single small step, I will add more light along your path. Purpose rarely appears in full form at the outset, but is revealed piece by piece, day by day, as you keep walking in trust. My child, do not compare yourself to others. When you fix your eyes on their journeys, you easily slip into discouragement or envy. But remember, their purpose is not your purpose. If a hand had only thumbs, it could never grasp. If a body had only eyes, it could never walk. I formed community as a single body, each one a part, each one a role. You have a place no one else can fill. If you refuse it, that space remains empty, for no other was designed to occupy it. Be courageous and believe that your life carries meaning. Even if others deny it, even if you have doubted it, I affirm to you, you were created for a divine purpose. That purpose will not only fill your life, but touch many other souls. You are an answer to prayers you have never heard. You are the arm I wish to extend, to lift someone who is falling. You are the light I long to place in the world's shadowed corners. My child, when I plant a divine purpose in your heart, I do not leave you groping alone in the dark to figure out how to fulfill it. I am not a father who creates you and then abandons you to fend for yourself. I am the Father who walks with you. Purpose is not a burden laid upon your shoulders, but a road we travel together. It is this companionship that turns a holy dream into reality, that transforms potential into fruit. You never have to carry the mission you've been given on your own. You can look back on the times you tried to steer everything yourself. You made plans, calculated, measured, and grew disappointed when things did not unfold as you wished. You blamed yourself or your circumstances. But my child, notice this: each time you fell under the weight of your efforts, I was still there. I did not abandon you when you miscalculated. I did not turn away when you strayed. I was there, ready to lay my hand on your shoulder, whispering, "You do not have to go alone. Take my hand." To walk together means you let me lead rather than forcing a path by yourself. I want you to understand this difference. Living according to your purpose is not about achieving success on your own, but about collaborating with the one who designed that purpose. You cannot complete a plan of which you are not the author. Only when you remain connected to me, the author of your life, will you discover each missing piece and place it where it belongs. You are the main character in the story, but I am the scriptwriter and the patron. If you try to write your own script without listening to me, you will find the plot drifting. But when you allow me to write, you will see that every detail makes sense, every turning point carries meaning, and the ending always leads to glory. My child, the journey of walking with me is not one of daily spectacular miracles. Rather, it is the small faithfulness of each day. You open your eyes in the morning and say, "Father, today I entrust myself to you." You begin a task and ask me to guide you. You face a difficult situation and remember that I am standing right beside you. These seemingly small acts are how you keep in step with me. Like two friends walking a long road, they do not need to speak loudly all the time. Simply matching their steps is enough to know they are together. Remember, my child, a divine purpose is not always easy. There will be bends and obstacles. There will be days when you ask yourself, "Is God really here? Did I mishear him?" That is when your faith is being refined. I do not lead you along a flat road where you never grow. I allow you to pass through valleys, not to be swallowed, but so that you may know my strength when I am with you. In the darkness, the small lamp truly shines. In the storm, you discover that the Father is your refuge. And in trials, you realize that your purpose is not a vague dream, but an unshakable promise. My child, when you walk with me, you will learn a new rhythm for your life. No longer rushing as the world drives you, no longer comparing as the world demands, but moving in a rhythm of peace. You walk when I walk, you stop when I stop, you open the door when I open it. This rhythm frees you from the anxiety of having to keep up, and instead grants you rest in each step. When others are frantic, you remain calm. When others are confused, you stay steadfast. Because you are not following a random map, you are walking with the one who holds the map. I want you to believe something important. Your divine purpose is not only for your own enjoyment, but to reach others. You will be a link in a vast network I am weaving. As you walk in your purpose, you will see that chance encounters were in fact arranged. The words you speak, however simple, may become the answer to someone's desperate prayer. The things you do, even in secret, plant seeds for a harvest far greater than you imagine. Walking with me means you may never fully see the reach of your influence, but you can be certain it always extends beyond yourself. My child, be courageous enough to let me lead. There will be times I open a great door unexpectedly, but also times I tell you to wait. Remember, waiting is not being forgotten, it is being prepared. As you patiently walk with me, you will see that I am never late. The timing I choose is always precise. Your walk with me is proof of your trust that I am a faithful Father. You may ask, how do I know I'm walking in step with you? My child, the sign is not in noise or applause, but in peace within. When you are on the right path, even if the outside world is in chaos, there is still rest inside you. That peace does not come from the world, but from my Spirit. Let peace be your compass. If you sense unrest, pause, listen, and ask me. I will not let you lose your way when you truly seek me. Remember, my child, a divine purpose is not a destination, but a journey. It does not end in one achievement, but unfolds through seasons and stages like chapters of a book I am writing with you. Each chapter reveals more wisdom, more joy, more maturity. You do not need to understand everything right now. You only need to agree to walk with me today. Tomorrow I will take your hand again. And over the years you will look back and see an entire journey has been written by our walking together. My child, walk with me in the details of your ordinary days. Invite me into your smallest decisions, your quietest dreams, and even your fears you have told no one. Believe that I care not only about the great things, but about every breath, every glance, every step. When you walk with me like this, you will live your divine purpose fully, no longer pulled by secondary things, no longer shaken by noise, but steady in my light. My beloved child, take my hand. We will walk together. And you will see that life is no longer a string of disconnected days, but a harmonious melody where father and child share the same rhythm. This is the sacred journey, and it begins today. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not only an observer, you are chosen to live in the presence of God's Word each day. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of these sacred messages. Amen.